Let's talk about severe hyperacusis, and we're going to talk about what it's like from their perspective and what can be done and what is exactly is going on. So severe hyperacusis, from someone who's experiencing it, is they're terrified of sound, because when they hear certain sounds, when they experience certain sounds, it's painful. It's very painful to them. It's terrifying. The sounds are distorted. So I experienced hyperacusis, and this is what it was like from my perspective. When the dishes would clank, the clanking would get stuck in my ear, and it was like echoing in my ear. That was one of the distortions. It's absolutely terrifying. It hurts. It makes you want to not experience that because of how painful and terrifying it is. And people with hyperacusis can really get in a place where they avoid sound. Rightfully so. Here is the thing you have to understand about what is going on behind the scenes with severe hyperacusis. It is PTSD to sound. And if you're dealing with someone with PTSD, someone who's come from the army and they have severe PTSD, you may think, well, okay, we need to take that person and we need to expose them back to the battlefield so that the exposure therapy can help rid them of their suffering and get them to a place of where they're not afraid anymore. And the answer is yes, exposure therapy to somebody who has a phobia can help them and is the first line treatment to phobias. The tricky part with hyperacusis is that their nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, and it is seeing the sound as a threat, and it is not allowing them to go back into rest or digest. And the sufferer is convinced that the sound itself is damaging to them when it's not. And we know this scientifically, because we know that the only thing that can damage the auditory system is exposure to sounds of certain decibels, certain ototoxic drugs like heavy antibiotics. And if the sound is not at this level where it is actually causing damage to your auditory system, then the belief that you have when you're a severe hyperacusis sufferer that the sound is causing damage is a hallucination of the mind. And so then it's very hard to convince someone who is in this thought process that that the sounds that you're experiencing, these everyday sounds, are not causing you any harm. Because you go on forums and stuff online with people who are suffering from hyperacusis, and they'll say, no, that's not true, I have to lock myself in my house because these sounds are causing me damage. They're convinced of it. But that goes contrary to science. That if you're not exposed to deafeningly loud sounds, or sounds that are, on the dB scale that would cause hearing damage, you're not experiencing hearing damage. What is happening to you is your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, and it is seeing sounds as a threat, and you have PTSD to those sounds, and you're extremely afraid of them. You have a phobia to sounds. And if you can understand that, if you can understand that, then you know how to treat it. But the hard part with it is trying to convince someone that these sounds aren't harming them, but their nervous system is shot. And they need deep nervous system work. Deep work on their nervous system to gradually bring them bring them out of that fight or flight state and to put them into a rest and digest state. And over time, as what has happened with me, the reactiveness faded, the hyperacusis faded, the tinnitus itself has faded into the background, and I have returned to peace and rest and digest. It wasn't easy, and I was convinced as well that these sounds were harming me, and it almost seemed very scary to learn to take the earplugs off and re-engage with sounds again, because I was mortified of them. I was mortified of silence. I did not want to sit in silence. I practiced, at the start of it, I practiced avoidance behavior. And I learned, and it was very scary I can't avoid this. I have to face the fear of the silence, the fear of the sounds, whatever it is. I have to. And that's hard. And trying to tell that someone with hyperacusis, severe hyperacusis, the hardest part is convincing them of that reality. And that the problem, because a lot of people with hyperacusis is they're trying to find some sort of cure. They're trying to turn down the hyperacusis. The sounds are too loud to them. They're looking into treatments and this and that, and they're still stuck on trying to control and not on letting go. And they don't believe that it's their nervous system that is stuck in fight or flight. They don't believe that. And so that is why that severe hyperacusis can be very, very tough to treat. So if you found this video informative and you want to work with me, book a 60-minute session below. I would love to work with you. Make sure to share it with a friend. It does help the algorithm, and it helps get this information to people who really need it. Like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.